I started from the bottom, hard scratching over. Put a chain on my baby cause he never told.
What in the actual fuck is Justin Gaethje doing? I know yesterday Dana White announced a lot of super awesome, massive fight news, but I just have to quickly touch on this Justin Gaethje situation. He has recently threatened retirement if the UFC gives him a #1 contender fight as opposed to just an immediate title shot, which I think is fucking ridiculous. So Justin Gaethje is asked about Paddy Pimblett, the possibility of fighting Paddy Pimblett on an interview yesterday that was released by ESPN MMA. I'm going to let this play and then we'll talk about it.
You haven't mentioned the name Paddy, and I think I probably understand why. I mean, according to the rankings, I didn't look at him this morning, but I think he's somewhere around 8 or 10 or something like that. So clearly from a rankings perspective, he is not deserving of next, but you also know how the sport works and the fact that he gets into the octagon. What were you thinking when all of that unfolded? And do you see him as an opponent just in terms of getting your title shot first? It doesn't sound like it, but
yeah.
do you see
no, absolutely. I mean, absolutely not. I mean, if that's the route that they want me to take, then I don't believe that they need me anymore. You know what I mean?
So Justin Gaethje claims that if the UFC has him fight Paddy Pimblett for a #1 contender fight as opposed to just immediately getting that title shot against Ilia Topuria, he will feel as if the UFC doesn't need him anymore. If you've been paying attention to MMA media over the past few weeks, you may have heard or noticed that Justin Gaethje's manager and Justin Gaethje have basically kind of both gone on the record saying, hey, if you don't give me this immediate title shot, I'm going to retire. They've made it very clear they don't want to fight Arman. They've made it very clear they don't want to fight Paddy. Justin Gaethje and his team are under the impression that they need the title shot and then kind of give this ultimatum to the UFC threatening, hey, I'm going to retire, or hey, the UFC clearly doesn't need me anymore if I have to have a #1 contender fight, right? Justin Gaethje's manager recently sat down on the Pound for Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo, and here were his comments regarding the Justin Gaethje situation as well.
Will Justin Gaethje say, I'm done with the sport?
I think he's the type of guy who will. He will walk away. Justin Gaethje will walk away.
Damn.
So yes, Justin Gaethje and his manager have basically threatened the UFC that they're going to walk away if they do not get the immediate title shot. I honestly cannot believe that he is being offered a #1 contender fight and somehow whining. If we're looking at Justin Gaethje's resume right now, he has 2 wins over Fiziev. That second one, Fiziev coming off of the couch because Dan Hooker ended up pulling out of the original matchup that was meant to go on that weekend. And then he's got the KO loss in between with Max Holloway. The main thing that frustrates me is Justin Gaethje continues to promote and claim that Max Holloway fight was just an exhibition match, right? Him getting flatlined was just an exhibition, right? And it's ridiculous because Justin Gaethje, right, he's your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. And I'm not trying to sit here and hate on Justin Gaethje, but him and Ali, they're making themselves look like fools, right? I mean, he's on a 1-fight win streak against an off-the-couch Fiziev. And before then, he was getting worked for nearly a full 25 minutes by Max Holloway, right? Who was a featherweight. And then, of course, we have the brutal knockout in the last 10 seconds at the end of UFC 300, right? I'm not trying to hate on Justin Gaethje, but you don't get an immediate title shot after beating a low-ranked opponent on short notice. I don't know. I don't see the UFC biting on this either, right? I think they'll call his bluff. I don't think he's actually going to walk away and retire. I think they're just giving the UFC this ultimatum, and I think, frankly, it's a little ridiculous. If I'm Dana White, if I'm Hunter Campbell, here are the matchups that I'm making in the lightweight division to get this thing a move on. The first thing I'm doing is I'm booking Arman versus Paddy, right? Whoever wins this would go on to fight Ilia Topuria. And I think Arman wins this fight, right? Arman goes out there and beats Paddy. Now, Arman's a big superstar, and you can sell the fuck out of that Ilia Arman pay-per-view, right? On the contrary, Paddy goes out there and upsets Arman, which I personally feel like it would be, right? Now Paddy's an even bigger superstar. You have that weird hand sanitizer bad blood between Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria. Now you have a really fun build-up for that fight as well, right? Next, I'm rebooking Dan Hooker versus Justin Gaethje. I don't really give a fuck that Justin Gaethje's threatening retirement. If you give me a #1 contender fight, then the UFC doesn't want me anymore. Go fuck yourself and go fight Dan Hooker. And I think Justin wins that, right? So then I think he could really start waiting around for a title shot. Justin Gaethje gets the winner of Ilia Paddy, Ilia Arman. There you go, problem solved. And then finally, I'm going to go ahead and run back Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. This fight happened really early on in their careers, and Charles Oliveira had like some weird like throat injury thing. It was weird. They need to run this back properly, right? So that's what I would do to clean up and solve a lot of the issues with the lightweight division to go ahead and keep everything moving. Dana White hopped on Instagram Live last night to give him some fights to look forward to. Here is that announcement now.
October 4th, T-Mobile, Las Vegas. The champ, Magomed Ankalaev, defends his belt against Alex Pereira. Ankalaev hasn't lost in 7 years. He has the second longest win streak in the UFC light heavyweight division behind who? John Jones, the GOAT.
This motherfucker. We just can't go fucking 30 seconds into announcing fights without getting on your knees and sucking off a guy who's retired. And they go to what? Hit and runs? PEDs? Domestic violence? Fucking God. Here we go. John Jones Glaze session starting now, ending never. The same guy you can't risk fighting at the White House?
I can't risk putting him in big positions in a big spot and have something go wrong.
I'm disappointed. I'm still in the UFC's drug testing pool. I'll be ready for whatever comes next. Fucking John Jones just hiding in the dark, waiting for Tom Aspinall to lose so he can come back. You had 3 years to step in there and fight, dude. Like, we're over this. Anyway, after you get past the John Jones meat writing, Dana White goes on to announce that Tom, what would it take Aspinall is going to be defending his undisputed UFC heavyweight championship against Cyril Colby Covington Gane. I mean, Cyril Gane has that Colby Covington factor where he just has that infinite title shot glitch. Cyril Gane's last fight was a robbery against Volkov. And Dana White even walked up to Volkov after the fight. Don't worry, man. We're going to get you right. And then gives fucking Gane the title shot anyway. You got fucked. You got robbed. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to get you right. So they fucking feed Volkov the jail 10 Almeida and give Gane the title shot anyway. But yeah, I mean, I'm obviously going to go with Tom Aspinall here. But what sucks about this fight is that if Tom Aspinall doesn't get it done in a more impressive fashion than John Jones, we're going to have to hear about it forever from John. I mean, the night of this pay-per-view, I would turn John Jones post notifications on Twitter. If this fight goes into the second round, I mean, we're fucked forever. If Cyril Gane somehow goes out there and flukes a win over Tom Aspinall, oh my God. It would be awful for us, man. I mean, it would be really great for John's wife. I mean, she's probably safe, but it would be horrific for the UFC. But I'm going to continue to move on as if that's not an option. I think Tom Aspinall's going to go out there and get it done. I think he's going to have that belt for a long fucking time, man. Kind of moving back now, UFC 320 was announced. It is going to be Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira 2 with a Merab Dvalishvili, Corey Sandhagen co-main event, with the future fight of the night being Jiro Prochazka versus Khalil Roundtree. I mean, oh my goodness. We finally have a fucking stacked pay-per-view this year, man. As long as all these fights stay scheduled, as long as all these fights stay booked, UFC 320 could definitely, on paper, look to be the best pay-per-view of the whole entire year so far. Starting off the main event, though, we are going to have Alex Pereira trying to get his lick back against Magomed Ankalaev. When this news was announced, Ankalaev went to Twitter talking about how he's actually going to knock out Alex Pereira. This time, there is no other way. Get ready for the big show, right? And I am super excited for this fight. I'm leaning towards Alex Pereira to go ahead and get this one back. I just think it would be better for the sport, man. If Alex Pereira goes out there and knocks out Magomed Ankalaev, I mean, that last fight was super fucking close, but I think if Alex Pereira wins, Magomed Ankalaev is gonna get put in like the UFC shadow realm. I know they need to do a trilogy immediately after if Alex goes out there and makes it 1-1, but the UFC, I know exactly what they're gonna do. They're gonna push Alex Pereira to move up to heavyweight to take on Tom Aspinall, assuming he gets that win over Cyril Gane, and then we finally have a fucking super fight, right? And the sport could start putting some life into it. So I'm definitely leaning Alex Pereira here. I just think if Alex Pereira were to win, it would be a lot better for the UFC, a lot better for us as MMA fans. Yeah, I'm hating on Magomed Ankalaev. I don't give a fuck you. Bringing our attention to the co-main event, Merab Dvalishvili taking on the Sandman, Corey Sandhagen. Shout out Merab, man. I mean, this is his third fight this year. We finally have an active champion. I mean, we really haven't had active champions since the Usman Adesanya era. Seeing Merab get out there for his third fight this year, I mean, God bless. I'm definitely leaning towards Merab right here. I think the only way Corey Sandhagen goes out there and upsets Merab Dvalishvili, Corey Sandhagen has excellent knees. He's got an excellent knee down the middle. I think the only shot Corey Sandhagen has at dethroning Merab Dvalishvili is blasting a knee and putting Merab's lights out, which I just don't think he's happening. I think Merab's going to go out there and defend his title again and then probably end up booking the Umar rematch, right? And I'm going to have a hard time finding any rationale to pick against Merab anytime soon. I knew Yuri was on his way back ASAP when I saw this clip of him at karaoke with his friends. You can see the moment he realizes he needs to get back in the octagon. He's happy. He's gleeful here. Watch his eyes. Bro, he locks in. He's ready. And he knows he needs to get back in there, right? So after defending his master's thesis and completing that side quest, Yuri Prochazka is stepping in there to take on Khalil Roundtree as the featured fight of the UFC 320 pay-per-view. I'm super excited for this one. I think we've got a new mythical fighter here with Yuri getting his master's degree. I like to call him Yuri Neutron, and I don't think Yuri Neutron is going to lose literally ever. So I'm leaning towards Yuri Prochazka here. But if Khalil goes out there, neutralizes Yuri's leg, Khalil Roundtree could definitely go out there and get it done. But like I said, Yuri Neutron, new mythical fighter. I think he's going to go out there and get it done. But man, is it refreshing to be looking towards stacked pay-per-views. The last little tidbit I have for today's video is the Khamzat Chimaev Paulo Costa beef.
You know, my wife is over here. He DM her. This is not good, you know. This is bad thing. In every culture, he's...
So at UFC 318, Paulo Costa says in his Octagon interview how Khamzat Chimaev, that's who he wants next, because Khamzat Chimaev has been DMing Paulo Costa's girlfriend. We just recently got our hands on the DMs Khamzat Chimaev was sending to Paulo Costa's wife. So Khamzat Chimaev hits Paulo Costa's girlfriend's Instagram DMs with pictures of him getting... He DMs her pictures of Paulo Costa getting teabagged by Israel Adesanya after their fight with the caption, I'm sorry. How you can be together with this shit? He likes black boys with them. But yeah, just wanted to leave you all with this one, but before I get out of here, we've got a really kick-ass fight night this weekend and some pay-per-views to look forward to. It's just looking a little brighter, ladies and gentlemen.